drag racing mechanics are acclimated to long hours of maintenance work to keep these cars operating under such extreme conditions. After each day's racing, the cars are torn down and components of the engine, clutch, transmission, and rear end are disassembled, inspected, repaired, or replaced as necessary, and carefully reassembled for the next race day. Even when all components hold up well, there are a number of between rounds chores that must be done. Nitromethane contamination of the oil necessitates an 11-quart oil change after each quarter-mile run. Engines are cooled by changing water in the block. Heads are retorqued and valves must be adjusted. 10 gallons of nitromethane at $23 a gallon must be replenished in the fuel tank. Clutches are cooled. Adjustments are made to engines, clutches, gear ratios, and anything else that might gain a few hundredths of a second. There are parachutes to be packed and a number of safety checks to be made. So even the easy times are very busy. Among the final eliminations to be held on Sunday will be the top fuel dragsters. With the exception of rigid safety requirements, these vehicles are totally unlimited, resulting in the lightest, most powerful, and consequently the fastest cars in drag racing. With the Funny Car Champion crowned on Saturday night, Sunday becomes the day for the top fuel dragsters in the pro stocks. For a closer look at the result of 30 years of mechanical evolution in quarter-mile acceleration, let's go to the pits with Dave McClellan.
The quickest and fastest accelerating cars in all of motorsports are championship drag racing's top fuel dragster. A slender, low-slung machine of some 225 inches of wheelbase, starting in the front with a bicycle-type front tires, and then leading back into the roll cage and cockpit area where the driver sits. There are just rudimentary controls for the driver. There's a clutch pedal, a brake handle, a throttle, and, of course, parachute release. Sitting behind the driver is the 2,000 horsepower nitromethane burning racing engine that propels these cars to speeds over 255 miles an hour. At the very end of the car, behind the huge drag slicks, comes the parachute. And that's the most important thing of all, getting one of these cars stopped using the disc brakes and the parachute in combination to bring them to a safe stop after a run of over 250 miles an hour.
Eliminations in top fuel open with Chris Karamessinas in the left lane versus Mark Oswald on the right. Oswald pulls to the side of the track with obvious mechanical problems. As Karamessinas backs toward the starting line, Oswald removes his safety belts and gets out of his car, indicating that his vehicle is unable to compete. A very disappointed Oswald walks away from his disabled race car and steps over the guardrail to clear the track. Karamessinas moves into round two with a fine single run of 6.06 seconds at 226 miles an hour. After the race, Mark Oswald's crew pushes their car back to the trailer for the long ride home. The next race places Californian Jeb Allen in the right lane against veteran Dick LaHaye on the left. LaHaye appears to have a slight edge, but Allen comes on very strong to win a close race with an ET of 6.01 seconds and a strong top-end charge of over 241 miles per hour. Before eliminations, Shirley Muldowney appeared relaxed as she signed autographs for several of the many fans that came to watch the 1977 Top Fuel World Champion compete. In a dramatic incident the day before, Shirley encountered severe tire shake during a qualifying run. The incredible vibrations caused the right rear wheel to break away from her dragster, sending it off the track and dangerously close to the guardrail. In a magnificent display of driving skill, Shirley was able to maintain enough control to keep the car out of the guardrail and finally back toward the track before the front wheels and steering system collapsed and the car slid to a stop back on the track. The safety crews were on the scene immediately as Shirley emerged shaken but uninjured and immediately put her crew to work to repair the damage. Back to Sunday, an understandably cautious Shirley Muldowney tests her recently repaired steering system, a result of that qualifying accident. Facing Shirley in the left lane is Wayne Ernst, carefully backing into his tire tracks. Crewmen make a last-minute check, and both drivers move toward the starting line. Ernst appears to have a slight advantage at the starting line, but a momentary loss of traction allows Shirley Muldowney to pull ahead for the victory at 6.05 seconds at 226 miles an hour. Ernst has obvious engine damage and appears to have braking problems as he approaches the turnaround too fast and goes into the sand trap. Racing action continues with Big Daddy Don Garland, one of the most famous and successful competitors in all of motorsports. Garland is credited with dozens of major innovations in the sport of drag racing. Facing Garland in the left lane is Bobby Hilton in the Virginia-based Jim and Allison Lee entry. The Christmas tree lights indicate that both cars are staged and ready to go. In a strong finish, Garlitz wins with a tremendous 5.94 second ET and a speed of over 240 miles an hour. We'll be back to the 12th Annual Popular Hot Rodding Championships in just a moment. Superstars like Reggie Jackson know that superstar performance in automotive ignitions comes from quality Axle ignition components. Reggie and racing enthusiasts know that Axle technicians cover major racing events all over North America to research and develop the latest in automotive ignition technology. These same Axle components that deliver racing firepower will stand the torturous heat of city traffic, the bruising punishment of off-road driving. Be it racetrack, city traffic, or off-road performance, take a tip from Reggie and depend on Axle. A major drag race is more than a competitive event. It's also a social and commercial gathering on a massive scale. Here, racers and fans can wander through the midway just to be part of the action, view a wide assortment of the latest high-performance parts, or, on a lighter note, to view the girls that are always a pleasant diversion among all the racing hardware. The serious racers confer with factory experts on the latest racing equipment and how to use it in their own performance development program. Meanwhile, those who hope to be serious racers next year gather catalogs and brochures to use as winter wish lists. Many of the items may have to stay on the wish list, since a state-of-the-art drag racing car can easily cost $40,000. Fortunately for these racing enthusiasts, there are many sportsman classes that are far more affordable, and the tens of thousands of racers in these classes form the backbone of the sport that makes drag racing what it is today. The next professional category is Pro Stock, the exotic, expensive versions of Detroit production vehicles. Although they look a lot like the car in your driveway, there is a considerable difference. To take a closer look at one of these cars, let's go back to the staging lanes with Dave McClellan.
There are two distinct factions in championship drag racing, one of which says race cars don't have doors. Well, the obvious is the other faction says yes, they do, and the ultimate of the door faction is this car, bearing the big number 1, Bob Glidden from Whiteland, Indiana. It is a Ford Fairmont that is highly modified to run in the Pro Stock category. It started as an original car. That's right, this was really a Ford Fairmont at one time. It still bears a marked resemblance to it. It uses some fiberglass components like the front end, and it runs on gasoline. Rules restrictions call for a maximum of 2 carburetors, but unlimited modifications to the engine. This type of car will run over 160 miles an hour in a quarter of a mile from a standing start. And this is the ultimate of the door racers of today, the Pro Stocker of Bob Glidden.
Pro Stock eliminations open with Paul Gentilozzi in a former Bob Glidden Aero against who else? Bob Glidden in his Fairmont. Gentilozzi is slow to stage, possibly hoping to put pressure on Glidden. Glidden appears unaffected. As both cars leap from the starting line together with their front wheels in the air, Glidden goes on to open up a substantial lead with an 8.52-second elapsed time and a speed of over 158 miles an hour. The second pairing finds Joe Satmary of Hammond, Indiana in the Camaro against Andy Manarino in the Detroit-based Firebird. Satmary's Camaro leads with the wheels in the air, but he is unable to stay ahead of Manarino's hard-charging 8.61-second ET at 155 miles an hour. now into the third pairing of pro stock eliminations. Just after the burnout, Sam Giannino's Camaro catches fire in the engine compartment. Quick action by crew members and track officials puts the fire out without serious damage. But Giannino is out of competition for the day. With Giannino's car still smoking in the background, Jim Kinnett from Stone Mountain, Georgia, earns a berth in the semifinals with an excellent 8.71-second, 153-mile-per-hour single run. Next pair puts Winston World Points leader Lee Shepard in the Rare and Morrison entry against perennial favorite Bill Grumpy Jenkins in the left lane. As they bring their engines up for an 8,000 RPM start, Shepard opens up a substantial lead and goes on to win with an 8.58-second ET and a speed of 153 miles per hour. All weekend, overcast skies threatened the event, and several times Sunday, competition was halted by showers. When the rains came, racers in the pits hurried to put their cars back into their trailers, while those already in the staging lanes covered their cars and sought a dry spot to wait out the showers. Each time, as soon as the showers stopped, the safety crews rolled out the track dryers to dry off and heat up the track surface for further competition. The track dryers, a recent innovation for drag racing safety crews, are actually aircraft jet engines with their 600-degree exhaust heat directed down at the track surface. The spectators were given an extra treat when the jet dragsters were brought out to help dry off the track. With this kind of serious effort from track officials and racers, the event was completed within a few hours of the original schedule. While the track drying equipment may be interesting from a technical point, the crowd showed far more interest in the race queens. Miss Hearst Linda Vaughn, a longtime favorite of racing fans, and the new Miss Winston, Tina Gale, who was attending her second major race, both took this opportunity to greet the crowd and provide a pleasant change in the scenery for the rain-dampened but still enthusiastic fans. We'll be back to the 12th Annual Popular Hot Rodding Championships in just a moment.
Hi, y'all. I'm Linda Vaughn, Miss Hearst. As you know, we've got race cars out here today, and we got Hearst shifters in almost all of them, but we've got something for you. We have van shifters, we have pickup shifters, and the smaller generation shifters for your little cars. So go to your local Hearst authorized dealer and tell them Linda sent you.
And now back to the eliminations with Top Fuel semifinals opening with a classic confrontation between Big Daddy Don Garlitz in the right lane and Chicagoan Chris Karamessinas on the left. Although Garlitz is off his previous 5.94 pace, he is able to defeat a tire-smoking Karamessinas with an ET of 6.34 seconds at 238 miles an hour. Karamessinas trails with a 6.48 second, 227 mile per hour time. Now let's join Dave McClellan down track as he talks to Don Garlitz.
Big Daddy Don Garlitz in the finals of this popular hot rodding championship. I think this is probably the fourth time that you've made it to the finals, and the car performing exceptionally well now.
It's running real good, Dave.
Have you done anything different overnight? I know you got some rest, and Herb Parks was out here scouting the track last night while the funny cars were racing. Have you done anything different to change it around? But you've gotten some great times.
34, really smoking. What did Dave? He run a 40. My goodness. It's terrible. We got to either change these or get in there. Yeah.
So it looks like you got some work cut out for you.
Okay, see you later.
We'll see you in the pits. Don Garlitz in the finals as he defeats Chris Karamessinas, and not at all happy with a 6:34 elapsed time for the big Kendall car of Don Garlitz from Seffner, Florida. And that means one thing. It's time for Big Daddy and Herb to go to work as they head down back to the pit area.
Closing out the semifinals is Jeb Allen on the right and Shirley Muldowney in the left lane. Comparing their first round times, both cars ran within 0.04 of a second, with Shirley's ET at 6.05 seconds and Jeb Allen at a quicker 6.01 seconds elapsed time. Leaving the line, Shirley opens up an early advantage and goes on to win with a stunning 5.95 second ET.